What's up, everybody? Welcome to the AM, guys. Welcome to 5 Minute Rants, the show predicated on the journey of life. My name's Michael Abernathy, your host. I hope y'all are doing well. Hope life is treating y'all well. Last episode, we talked about the science of business. And I really felt, and even after talking some with my partner, just about the content and different things, one thing she was saying is you should continue on with this. So here I am with the Science of Business Part 2. You'll have to forgive me as I'm clearing my throat. I just felt a little under the weather today. So anyways, guys, last time we talked about if you are moving forward to build and create, you've really got to have that mindset of science driving you to figure out the unknown, to create, to experiment, right? You got to be able to theorize. You got to be able to have a hypothesis. You got to be able to have a way to test it. You got to be able to have a way to prove it. By the way, this is about how all marketing works pretty much. You got to have theories. You got to have a way to measure it and test it. And then you got to have a way to prove it. Okay. And so one of the things that I think is important is actually really talking about measurement. We don't talk about measurement. And school has done and I'm not bashing schools, not trying to hate on anybody in particular, but I really think schools have messed us up in how we measure things. There's either pass or fail, right? There's all these grades, and it's like when you get into life, there's a lot of things in measurement that are not set in stone. Like it's fluid, okay? Like how do you measure winning at marriage? Tell me that one. Or how do you measure what professionalism? It's like, no, those are things that I've got to decide. There are things that are set in stone, though. There are things that you already have automatic measurement for, okay? Like life and death. Somebody's alive, they're breathing, they're awake. Death, they've died, they've passed away, those sort of things. So anyways, going back into the measurement, this is how you've got to be able to run the business, run the companies, and run your position in life, okay? Well, if you're trying to create, if you're trying to build, you've got to be able to measure. What is the finish line that you've defined for yourself? What is good enough, okay? What is good enough to continue on? So for me, my measurement for just marketing in general is predicated off, and this goes back to one of our other companies, is predicated off what the customer defines as winning. What does winning mean to them? What does success mean to them? And then we build that whole system of measurement based off that, okay? When we talked about the content creation company that we were working with last episode, I talked about that. And one of the ways that we are doing measurement is based on views, okay? And so views for episodes, views for their content, interaction with their content, where likes and shares, all these things are being measured, right? And so the thing, though, that really comes to is when you're creating something new, when you haven't done something, and even when you're doing something new, it's that scientific method of having a theory, having that testing arena to be able to prove it true or false, to help you make up decisions. And so the point, help to make decisions of whether you should continue down this path or whether you should change lanes. Because the point of life is to find where you're failing quickly and then to change and then to move forward into a new way. So embracing failure is actually one of the ways to fail quickly. And then what helps you embrace failure is actually being able to see where things are falling short or where things are not going in the direction that you want them or need them to go. And so the science of business, part of life, is really figuring out that unknown, figuring that out. What is it that you don't know? And then how are you going to build something that works? Okay. Business is very hard in general. Okay. And a lot of the reason why business is very hard is because there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of factors. And it's not just a math test that you did in high school or middle school, which is multiple choice, right or wrong, true, false, that sort of stuff. There's a lot of critical thinking. You've got to develop whole systems and processes to build a company for it to be able to run off of. Because if you are the key man in that company and then you get hit by a bus, it's called hit by bus syndrome, man, the whole company burns down. Why? Because you didn't build it off this scientific method, actually understanding what works, actually being able to create it, and actually being able to move forward and franchise it. Franchisement is such a huge part. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope y'all have a great day. Peace.